Today we're going to talk about Workbook 4A, Exercise 8. Turn in your textbook to page 19 and we'll start there. Today we have a new word to learn. The word is factor, and it's something you already know about, you just haven't had a word for it before. And so a factor is a number that you multiply by another factor to get a product. So we would say, for example, that the product of 3 and 4 is 12. Since 3 times 4 equals 12, the product of 3 and 4 is 12. We used the word product before. Now we have the fact that 3 and 4 are factors of 12. So when you find the numbers that multiply together to give you 12, those numbers are called factors. If you have 2 times 3 times 4 is equal to 24, you say that 24 is the product of 2, 3, and 4. And you could say that 2, 3, and 4 are factors of 24. So the factors multiply together to give the product. Look on page 20. We have some idea about how to find the product of, or the factors of numbers. Look at the picture. They have seashells. I have stars. They have one row of 6 seashells, which shows us that 1 times 6 is equal to 6. So the factors of 6 is the product. The factors of 6 would include 1 and 6. Then we take the shells and we divide them in a different way. We put them in 2 groups of 3 to show that 2 times 3 is 6. So 2 is a factor and 3 is a factor. The factors of 6 include 1, 6, 2, and 3. Normally, of course, we would rewrite that and call it 1, 2, 3, 6, just because it's smallest to greatest. Number 2 asks us to find the factors of 16. Well, let's think about it. How many different ways can we say that a number times a number is equal to 16? What can we find to fill in those blanks? Well, of course, anytime you have a number, 1 times itself will equal the number. 16 is 2 times 8. 3 does not go into 16 evenly because 3 times 5 is 15, 3 times 6 is 18. 4 does work. 4 times 4 is 16. Once you pass the midway mark, 4 and 4, it's not half of 16, but 4 times 4, I've tried all the numbers up to 4, and the next one I have is 4. That tells me that I'm finished. I don't have to go all the way up. I don't have to try 5, because if 5 worked, it'd be multiplied by a smaller number. For example, 5 times 3 is close. That's the closest one. I don't have to try 6 because it would be 6 times a smaller number. I don't have to try 7. I know that 8 is a factor. I don't have to try 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, or 15. I simply can look at this list and say the factors of 16 include 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16. Also notice that 4 is only listed one time. 4 is a factor of 16, but you only list it once, even though it's 4 times 4 is 16. Let's keep talking about some problems with this and some practicing with this. On the bottom of page 20, find the factors of each one. You could pause the recording, find them yourself, and then check your list against mine, see if it works. 7 is only 1 times 7. It's called a prime number. We haven't introduced the idea of a prime number before, but there's a term you could add if you're familiar with it already. 7 is 1 and 7. It's prime because it's just 1 times itself. 9, on the other hand, is 1 times 9 or 3 times 3. So if I want to find the factors of 9, it's 1, 3, 9. Those are the factors of 9. What about 10? How many ways can we multiply and get 10? Well, there's 1 times 10, 2 times 5, 3 doesn't work. 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12. 4 doesn't work. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. And then I'm up to 5. Once I hit a number I've already tried, I'm through. So 1, 2, 5, 10, those are all factors of 10. How about 18? Always start with 1. 1 times 18, that'll always be a factor. 2 times 9, 3 times 6, 4 doesn't work, 5 doesn't work, and now I'm at 6, which I've already found works, and that tells me that I'm at the end of my options. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18 are all factors of 18. Now let's think about the problem a little bit differently. Which of these numbers has the number 2 as a factor? 8 does, because 8 is 2 times 4. 10 does. 10 is 2 times 5. 15 does not. Remember we talked about even numbers and odd numbers? 15 is an odd number. It does not work because 2 times 7 is 14, and then 16 is the next number if I'm counting by 2's. So 2 times 7, 2 times 8, but I don't have 2 times anything that gives me 15. The number 24, if it's 2 times something, that will work. Think of 24. 24 is 2 10s and 4 1s. That's 2 12s is 24. So 24 does have 2 as a factor. You can simply go to even and odd numbers. Every even number has a factor of 2. Every odd number does not have 2 as a factor. Look at part B. What about the numbers that have a factor of 5? That's an easy one if you think about what we know about 5s. 15, that's 3 times 5, so 15 has 5 as a factor. 20, that's 4 times 5, so that one works. 25 is 5 times 5, so that one works. 32 doesn't work. How can you recognize that? Remember that all the multiples of 5 will end in a 0 or a 5, so 32 is not a count by 5 number. It will not have 5 as a factor. That was actually the end of this lesson. So after this, you can work on exercise 8, and we're just going to work on factors and thinking about this. It's much easier if you've really learned all the count by numbers. When we work on memorizing how to count by 4s, how to count by 6s, how to count by each of the numbers, that makes factors, and a lesson we're going to come up in a couple more lessons, it makes these things much easier than if you've not practiced those. So now you're ready to do exercise 8.